We had the Deputy President speaking about this yesterday in Kisii, I think. Listen to what he said.
Wanajaribu kunilaumu mimi. Mimi wakati nilikuwa nasaidia rais, hakuna kitu ilikwama. Tulijenga reli, barabara tukazijenga, sitima tukaunganisha, TTI tukajenga. Ile mahali mambo yote imekwama ni second term, mahali Big Four ilikwama kwa sababu wale walipatiwa hiyo majukumu walishindwa. Hawakuelewa, wakapeleka mambo ya rege, wakatuletea mambo ya BBI, wakazunguka na hiyo mambo yote sasa imekuwa kazi bure.
Prof, does the Deputy President have a point? Because his duties were reassigned.
Trevor, let me start from where it all began.
Yeah.
And I think where the foundations of the functions of the powers of the President will be found in Article 131 and 132 of the Constitution. And then what 131 and 132 speak to the President being a symbol of national unity and the President getting elected together with the Deputy President. And I think this is, let us make this distinction in the current Constitution with the powers as were in the former Constitution. In the former Constitution, the President appointed his Vice President.
Yeah.
We now have a framework under Article 147 and 148 where the President comes into office with the Deputy President as partners, and that is what the Speaker has spoken to.
Yeah.
That you then have some level of co-sharing of power with specific functions or roles of the Deputy President set out under Article 147 of the Constitution that include helping the President run the affairs of the country. Now, wherein lies the problem is that the Deputy President under the current framework can only be removed from office under Article 150 of the Constitution. Under Article 150, you can only remove the Deputy President from office through impeachment and only for incapacity to perform his role as Deputy President, or if he opts to resign from office.
So he can decide to quit?
He can decide to quit, or he can be removed through impeachment.
Okay.
Now that presents the problematic. The problematic is that if the President and his deputy are from the same party or the same coalition, in this case the Jubilee coalition, the question of allegiance then comes into play. Who supports who and who stands for what framework? The Deputy President has spoken to the cabinet functions. Remember, one of the functions of the President under Article 132 is to chair cabinet and therefore deliver to the country. The President is expressing his frustration, and I feel for him because it is expected that any deputy that you have in office would help you achieve for the country, would help you perform your functions as the President. But where there is a clear split in roles or where the Deputy President then charts a different path, it is extremely frustrating, Trevor. And I think that is what the President is speaking to. Then the problem then again is that you know that the route to the removal of that Deputy President is not an easy one because the support base that you have is tied to the support base of the Deputy President because you're in the one coalition. And therefore, an attempt at an impeachment would be impossible to achieve. At the same time, you have no power to remove that Deputy President. But he will continue to stay in his office and enjoy the benefits of that office conferred by the Constitution. I think that is the frustration of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I think that I sympathize with him greatly that he is a slave of the Constitution. And this is what last time I told you, this is called the higi-haga of politics. Because he cannot unshackle himself from the political framework.
Yeah.
The jurisprudential questions that underlie the office of the president and the deputy president ties the two together in a manner that makes it impossible for the president to unshackle himself from the gimmick of this joint presidency.
Yeah, but the deputy president says this is all Raila's fault, that since Raila came in, that's when he derailed the entire plan.
I think you cannot blame Baba. I think Baba, if you may, is in any event a savior. He came in to rescue President Uhuru Kenyatta and to be there for him to achieve part of the Agenda 4 that he had set out. And I think, let's give it to Raila Odinga, that he not only brought peace to the country, and Wamatangi acknowledges that once there was the handshake, we had development in many quarters. We had a lot of what was not completed in Uhuru's term, and I think we have seen miles, not just of infrastructure development.
Yeah.
We have seen every country boast of some movement. We have big projects in the port in Kisumu County. We have projects going on in Mombasa, thanks to this handshake.
Okay.
It is that handshake, and I'm sure he'll talk about the BBI, that then also had a vision for this country to deal with some of the political difficulties, including constitutional difficulties, through the BBI framework that unfortunately did not see the light of day. But I believe that will eventually see the light of day, so that this country is transformed in a manner that delivers the people of this country.
All right, Joshua,
can I just mention something? A quick one. You can give Joshua more time than me after this. Just wanted to mention something before I lose it on what Wakili there says, and that's on that point of the impossibility of the president being able to either have the deputy president either removed or impeached by virtue of our constitutional dictate.
Yeah.
And probably, Wakili, as we discuss that issue, the question I believe that we would need to address ourselves to is it a good or a bad thing that the president is unable to remove a deputy at will? And to look at that in a more generous and long-term, view, would have to reflect back as to why did the constitution makers of this country decide and determine that is a necessity.
Yeah.
To have to insulate the deputy president's office from either the manipulation or the whims, for that matter. And our history bears us out, for that matter, what happened when we had other presidents before who would be able at any one time to, dismiss their vice presidents, delay. You remember the time when Moi was driving around, Limuru Road, and he would stop somewhere and ask people, if I give you a vice president, is it going to add more ugali to your table? This kind of things. And I believe that's why there was the decision that you'd need to have that office insulated, so that the law also protects that office. Then